Hey everyone, and welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast. Today, we're going to be looking at a company that's been making waves in the sensor technology world. Interlink Electronics, ticker symbol LINK. They might not have heard of them just yet.
They're a microcap.
Yeah, exactly. They are a microcap, but they've been making some really interesting moves that have caught our attention. And they're in a fascinating spot right now. Early 2025 has been kind of a roller coaster for tech stocks. Some of the giants are facing some headwinds, but that creates a lot of opportunity.
Absolutely.
For these, smaller, more agile players like Interlink. To help us kind of navigate these choppy waters and figure out what it all means for potential investors, we've got our resident market expert here with us today.
Glad to be here. It's always interesting to kind of dig into these smaller companies, especially when they're in a sector that's really ripe for disruption.
So let's jump right into it. Interlink has had a couple of major announcements recently. First, they acquired Conductive Transfers and its affiliate Global Print Solutions back in December. What's the significance of that move?
Well, that acquisition is all about positioning. They're diving headfirst into this e-textile and wearable tech market, which is just absolutely exploding. We're talking clothes that can monitor your health, car seats that adjust to your posture. This is the future we're talking about.
So they're really setting themselves up for some serious growth. But, acquisitions can be tricky to integrate.
Absolutely. Execution is key. But Conductive Transfers brings some really valuable intellectual property and expertise to the table. If Interlink can leverage that successfully, it could be a game changer for their revenue streams.
And then just last month at CES, they unveiled their new 4 Series carbon monoxide sensor.
Right.
That's a pretty big stage.
It is. CES is where the tech world goes to see what's next. And, this new sensor really demonstrates Interlink's commitment to innovation in a very tangible way. It's not just about riding trends. They're actively developing solutions for real-world problems, and that resonates with investors.
So they're making waves in 2 really hot sectors, wearables and environmental sensing. That's got to be pretty exciting for anyone looking at their stock.
It certainly paints an interesting picture. Now, remember, we are talking about a microcap here, which means volatility is part of the game. But that also means there's potential for significant upside.
Let's talk about that stock performance. We saw a surge to a 52-week high of $9.39 on January 21st, right after that acquisition and CES buzz. But then things pulled back, and as of December 24th, it was trading around $5.94. What's going on there?
Well, that initial surge was fueled by enthusiasm and speculation, which is common with microcaps after positive news. But then reality sets in. Investors start to assess the long-term prospects, the risks involved, and that can lead to a pullback.
So are we seeing a buying opportunity here, or is this a sign of further decline? What do the technicals tell us?
Let's dive into the charts. If you look at the moving averages, we see a short-term bearish trend. The stock is taking a breather after that big run, but the longer-term potential is still there. It's like it needs to catch its breath before making another move.
And the trading volume has been relatively low, right? What does that tell us?
Low volume can make the stock susceptible to big swings, but the fact that we're not seeing a massive sell-off, even with the pullback, suggests that investors aren't panicking. They're holding on to their shares, which could be a sign of confidence in the company's long-term prospects.
So we've got this company operating in high-growth sectors, a stock that's showing some pretty interesting price action. Seems like there's a lot to unpack here.
There certainly is. And that's what makes this conversation so fascinating. You've got this mix of excitement and uncertainty, which is often where the most intriguing investment opportunities lie.
All right, so we've set the stage, we've looked at the company's recent moves, the market context, and the stock's performance. But now let's get into the nitty-gritty. We're going to dig into Interlink's financials and see if they can back up all this excitement. We'll also analyze those technical indicators in a little more detail to see what they might be telling us about the future.
All right, so let's take a look under the hood here and examine Interlink's financials. Now remember, their most recent earnings report was for the third quarter of 2024, released on November 8th.
Right, and those numbers predate both the Conductive Transfers acquisition and the CES announcement of the new carbon monoxide sensor. So we're really getting a glimpse of the company before.
Those potentially game-changing events, right?
Exactly. It's like looking at a snapshot of the company before these big catalysts kicked in. Okay, so what did that snapshot reveal? What were the highlights or lowlights, as the case may be?
Well, the top-line revenue was essentially flat year over year. Not a cause for celebration, but not a disaster either, especially given the slowdown we've seen across the electronics manufacturing sector.
Yeah, analysts were predicting a dip in demand. So flat revenue might actually be a win in this environment. But does that mean they weren't profitable?
That's where it gets interesting. Despite the flat revenue, Interlink actually improved their gross margin. They squeezed more profit out of each dollar of sales.
Okay, so they're becoming more efficient. That's a good sign for the long term.
It is. It shows they're managing costs effectively. But on the flip side, their cash burn increased by about 33% year over year.
Cash burn. That's how quickly they're spending their cash reserves.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a good thing.
Right. But it's not uncommon for a company like Interlink that's investing heavily in research and development, new product launches, and expanding into new markets. They're fueling future growth, even if it means burning through some cash in the short term.
Yeah, it's like they're putting the pedal to the metal. But they need to make sure they have enough fuel in the tank to reach their destination.
Exactly. It's something investors need to watch carefully. A high cash burn rate can't be sustained indefinitely. They'll need to start generating more revenue soon to replenish those coffers.
So a mixed bag on the financials front.
Yeah.
But despite that, we saw their stock jump significantly in late January. Simply, Wall Street reported a 49% increase in share price by January 24th. It seems investors are looking beyond the current numbers and betting on the potential upside.
They are. And if you look at their valuation metrics, Interlink is currently trading at a price-to-sales ratio of 7.1 times.
Which is significantly higher than the industry median of 2.3 times. So that suggests that investors are willing to pay a premium for Interlink's shares because they believe the company is poised for significant growth.
It's a bet on the future, driven by the potential of those e-textiles and new sensor technologies taking off.
Of course, not everyone is convinced. Some analysts are more cautious. They point to shrinking revenue forecasts and the potential challenges of integrating conductive transfers.
It's always important to consider both sides of the coin. There are never any guarantees in the stock market. But even those cautious analysts were surprised by the recent surge in share price. So even the experts don't always have all the answers.
Which is what makes the market so exciting.
Yeah.
Unpredictability and opportunity go hand in hand.
Absolutely. So we've got this company with a mixed financial picture, operating in a high-growth sector with some exciting new developments. And we've got investors who seem to be betting on their future success, despite some cautionary notes from analysts. So where do we go from here?
Well, you mentioned technical analysis earlier. Can those charts and indicators give us any more insight into Interlink's short-term and long-term prospects?
They can. Remember those moving averages and the RSI we talked about earlier?
Oh, yeah. Things were getting pretty technical there, but I think I'm starting to get the hang of it.
Great. So let's break down those technical indicators and see if we can identify any buy or sell signals. We'll also look at some key support and resistance levels to get a sense of where the stock might be headed next.
Sounds good. I'm ready to decode those charts.
All right. Let's start with the recent price movements. Interlink has been on quite a roller coaster ride over the past year. As we mentioned earlier, the stock hit a 52-week high of $9.39 on January 21st, after that impressive rally.
Right, but then it's pulled back significantly. As of December 24th, it was trading around $5.94, a classic post-event retracement.
Precisely. And if you look at the daily fluctuations, you can see just how volatile the stock can be. On December 24th alone, it swung 11.77%, from a low of $5.42 to a high of $6.06.
Talk about a wild ride. Those kinds of swings are not for the faint of heart.
Definitely. But for investors who can handle the volatility, microcaps like Interlink can offer serious upside potential.
So is this pullback a buying opportunity or a sign of further decline?
That's where the technical indicators come in. Let's start with the moving averages. As of December 24th, Interlink was trading below its 50-day moving average, which is a bearish signal.
Okay, so that's not great.
However, it was still holding above its 200-day moving average, which could provide some support. So we have a bit of a mixed bag there.
Okay, so some reason for optimism, but also some cause for concern.
Exactly. But here's where it gets interesting. The 50-day moving average is trending downward, and it looks like it could cross below the 200-day moving average soon.
Did you call that a death cross earlier? That doesn't sound good.
You remember correctly. It's a term used in technical analysis to describe a bearish signal. That occurs when a shorter-term moving average crosses below a longer-term moving average, and something to watch carefully, because it can signal a shift in momentum from bullish to bearish.
Okay, so that's one indicator to keep an eye on. What about the RSI? What's that telling us?
The RSI, or Relative Strength Index, measures the magnitude of recent price changes to evaluate overbought or oversold conditions in the price of a stock or other asset. On December 24th, the RSI for Interlink was around 35 to 40, which suggests that the stock is oversold, meaning it might have fallen too far too fast.
So there's still room for further decline, but we're not seeing a massive exodus of investors just yet.
Correct. The RSI suggests that sellers might be exhausted, but we haven't seen strong buying pressure emerge yet.
Okay, what about the trading volume? You mentioned earlier that Interlink has relatively low trading volume, which can make the stock volatile.
Right, and on December 24th, the volume was down 16,000 shares from the prior day, despite a 1.94% price gain. That's a bearish divergence, suggesting that buying pressure is weakening.
So the wind is going out of the sails, so to speak.
You could say that. The technical indicators are painting a somewhat cautious picture right now.
Okay, so we've got these mixed signals. Something's pointing to potential, others suggesting caution. How do we make sense of it all?
Well, remember, technical analysis is just one piece of the puzzle. We also need to consider the fundamental factors, like the company's recent acquisition, its new product launches, and the overall growth prospects of the sectors it operates in.
Right, so it's about weighing the technicals against the fundamentals
Yeah,
and deciding what makes sense for our individual investment strategy.
precisely. We need to consider all the evidence before making an informed decision.
All right, so let's talk about some key support and resistance levels. Can those help us identify potential entry and exit points for the stock?
Absolutely. Looking at the chart, we can see that there's some support around $5.83. That level saw some accumulated volume in late 2024, which suggests that buyers might step in if the stock drops that low.
Okay, so that's a potential buying opportunity for those who can tolerate a little risk.
It could be. However, if the stock breaks below that support level, then we could see further declines. The next level of support is around $5.50 to $5.
So a drop below $5.50 would be a significant bearish signal.
It would. On the upside, there's some resistance around $6.59, which is about 10.88% above the December 24th close. If the stock can break through that resistance level, then we could see a move back towards the 50-day moving average.
And that would be a bullish sign, right?
It would suggest that the buyers are regaining control. But remember, the market is constantly moving, and things can change very quickly. So it's important to stay informed and adjust your strategy as needed.
So much to consider. But that's what makes investing so dynamic and engaging.
Absolutely. You've got to weigh the potential rewards against the potential downsides and decide if Interlink aligns with your risk tolerance and investment goals.
Okay, so to sum it all up, we've got a company with some intriguing growth potential, operating in exciting sectors, but also some inherent risks. The technical indicators are giving us mixed signals, but the fundamentals suggest there could be some upside if Interlink can execute on its plans.
That's a great summary. It's really a classic investment opportunity. Potential reward with some risk.
Ultimately, the decision of whether or not to invest in LINK is up to each individual investor.
But hopefully our discussion today has given you the information you need to make an informed decision.
We've covered a lot of ground today, from Interlink's recent acquisitions and product launches to their financial performance and the technical analysis of their stock. But before we wrap things up, we want to hear from you, our listeners. What stood out to you the most in our discussion today? Was it the potential of their e-textile technology, their commitment to innovation with that new carbon monoxide sensor,
Or perhaps the volatility of the stock and the challenges of investing in a microcap company?
Remember, investing is all about weighing the potential rewards against the risks, and only you can decide if Interlink Electronics aligns with your investment goals and risk tolerance. But here's a final thought to ponder as you continue your research. We've talked a lot about Interlink's potential in existing markets like automotive and medical devices, but what about the completely unexpected?
What if their sensor technology could be applied in brand new ways that we haven't even thought of yet?
Imagine Interlink sensors integrated into smart cities or used to monitor crop health in agriculture.
Or even in space exploration.
The possibilities are truly endless.
And that's what makes investing in emerging technologies so exciting. There's always the potential for breakthroughs and disruptions that can create entirely new markets and opportunities.
So keep that in mind as you evaluate Interlink Electronics. Don't just focus on the present, look to the future and ask yourself what role this company could play in shaping the world we live in. And who knows, maybe you'll be one of the savvy investors who spotted this hidden gem before it became a household name. That's all the time we have for today's episode of Investing Talk Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
And don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a comment below. We love hearing your thoughts and insights.
Until next time, happy investing. So we've covered a lot of ground today, from Interlink Electronics' recent acquisitions and product launches to their financial performance and the technical analysis of their stock. But before we wrap things up on this episode of Investing Talk Podcast, we want to hear from you, our listeners. What stood out to you the most in our discussion today? Was it the potential of their e-textile technology, or their commitment to innovation with that new carbon monoxide sensor?
Or perhaps the volatility of the stock and the challenges of investing in a microcap company.
Yeah, investing is all about weighing those potential rewards against the risks, and only you can decide if Interlink Electronics aligns with your investment goals and risk tolerance.
Right, and it's important to remember that no investment comes without risk, especially when we're talking about a company like Interlink that's still in a relatively early stage of its growth trajectory.
Exactly, and that's why it's so crucial to do your own research and due diligence before making any investment decisions. Don't just rely on what you hear on this podcast or from any other single source.
Absolutely. Consult multiple sources, read analyst reports, look at the company's filings, and really dig into the details.
And most importantly, think about how Interlink fits into your overall investment strategy. Are you comfortable with the level of risk involved? Does the company's long-term potential align with your investment timeline and goals?
These are all questions you need to answer for yourself before hitting that buy button.
But here's a final thought to ponder as you continue your research. We've talked a lot about Interlink's potential in existing markets like automotive and medical devices. But what about the completely unexpected?
What if their sensor technology could be applied in brand new ways that we haven't even thought of yet?
Imagine Interlink sensors integrated into smart cities or used to monitor crop health and agriculture.
Or even in space exploration.
The possibilities are truly endless.
And that's what makes investing in emerging technologies so exciting. There's always the potential for breakthroughs and disruptions that can create entirely new markets and opportunities.
So keep that in mind as you evaluate Interlink Electronics. Don't just focus on the present, look to the future and ask yourself what role this company could play in shaping the world we live in. And who knows, maybe you'll be one of the savvy investors who spotted this hidden gem before it became a household name. That's all the time we have for today's episode of Investing Talk Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
And don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a comment below. We love hearing your thoughts and insights.
Until next time, happy investing.